Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a lot to talk about right now because we're only a few days into February. Because this month of February, these 28 days, 29 days for the leap year, is supposed to be remembering and celebrating our Black history. Even though I think February is still too short of a month to really, it should be Black history in general. And we're only a few days in, and look what's going on right now. We got HBCU bomb threats. We got Brian Flores suing the NFL for racial discrimination, and we're gonna get into all that right now. So for those of you who don't know about the Brian Flores situation, I'm gonna read out some articles from CBS Sports, the New York Post, and also ESPN, going through different articles, trying to grab as much of the stories we can here will be beneficial. So we got ESPN saying Brian Flores sues the NFL. 3 teams as former Miami Dolphin coach alleges racism in hiring practices. So Brian Flores has sued the NFL in 3 teams, the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Giants. Right before the Super Bowl, I may add, alleging discrimination regarding the interview process with Denver, New York, and his firing last month by Miami. The 58-page lawsuit was filed in Manhattan federal court Tuesday and seeks class action status. Flores alleges that the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, attempted to incentivize to tank or purposely lose games shortly after he was hired in 2019, with Ross allegedly offering Flores $100,000 for every loss that season. Flores says that the team won games late in the season. Dolphins general manager Chris Greer told him that Ross was mad that the on-field success was compromising the team's draft position. Now, let me say something real quick about that. I feel like in the NFL and also in the NBA to such a degree, if you're a black coach or you're a higher form of management, let's say you're the president of basketball or football operations, there's a lot more urgency to succeed because those type of jobs aren't really lined up for people looking like us. And the complete and utter madness of the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, saying, I'll give you $100,000 to tank games just so you don't compromise our draft position.
You're showing me how unserious you are.
Tell me what black coach is given that opportunity. How do you know he's going to go through that? Think about these things as I continue to talk about these articles. Additionally, Flores alleged that Ross pressured him into recruiting a prominent quarterback at the end of the 2019 season, which the coach refused to not violate the NFL's tampering rules. So you see here, Brian Flores wasn't trying to get in trouble. He saw the writing on the wall and he wasn't trying to get in trouble with the NFL. Ross then allegedly invited Flores on a yacht for lunch in the winter of 2020, where he informed that the quarterback was conveniently arriving to the marina for an impromptu meeting. You can already see where this is going. A man like Brian Flores was getting set up. He doesn't want to be involved with NFL tampering. The Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, has set him up. Now, Flores refused the meeting and left the yacht. Afterwards, Flores alleged that he was treated with disdain and held out as someone who was not compliant and difficult to work with. Obviously, the bigger you are, the harder they fall. Once you're in a prominent role like a coach of an NFL team, the second that you disobey your owners, you're immediately cut and discharged disgracefully. He was fired January 10th despite recording the Dolphins' first back-to-back winning season in 2003. They got 10-6 in 2020 and 9-8 in 2021. So Brian Flores was winning games. It's not like he was tanking, he was losing, he was trying to manage a shit team. He was winning games. He had a positive record. Did they make the playoffs? I don't know. I don't watch football like that, but maybe I should start. If you're a black coach in whatever said sport, you have an obligation to your team to win games. And now if your owner is telling you to lose games, who are they going to blame first when you have a losing record? Think about that. Let's hop over to CBS Sports, where it says the former Dolphins coach, Brian Flores, sues the NFL, Giants, Dolphins, and Broncos, alleging racial discrimination. So this article kind of highlights some of Brian Flores' point of view and how he's seeing this whole lawsuit go about. Former Miami Dolphin head coach Brian Flores, who was fired this offseason, has been interviewing for several open positions, is suing the NFL, the New York Giants, the Dolphins, and the Denver Broncos for racial discrimination. The lawsuit states that the league remains rife with racism, and in certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and managed much like a plantation. Keep that in mind. Managed much like a plantation. Now, I had the privilege to watch a little bit of Colin Kaepernick's, I don't know what to call it on Netflix. Was it like, it's not really a documentary, docu-series? Now, mind you, these are Colin Kaepernick's thoughts and opinions, but he basically highlighted the NFL draft as a slave auction, where essentially you're highlighting all the physical attributes of a black man, how strong he is, how fast he is, how much he can pull or push. I can definitely see that there's a lot of sketchy business going on down over there. When it comes to the NFL really trying their hardest to cover up a lot of long-term disabilities caused by numerous concussions to the head and all the long-term damages it does, all the way up to majority of their players not having guaranteed contracts. So a player could be making $100 million for 5 years, but let's say that player to get injured into their second year, they can get cut immediately from the team and they don't have no right to get paid out with the said money. So you can really see a lot of NFL players and now coaches are treated as nothing but commodity. Continuing on with the article, it points out that none of the 32 NFL owners are black and that they profit from the labor of players, 70% of whom are black. Flores says he is deciding to stand up for himself and he hopes to others join him. In this article, Brian Flores has gone on to say that God has gifted me with a special talent to coach the game of football, but the need for change is bigger than my personal goals. In making the decision to file the class action complaint today, I understand that I may be risking coaching the game that I love that has done so much for my family and me. My sincere hope is that by standing up against systemic racism in the NFL, others will join me to ensure the positive change is made for generations to come. It's pretty clear that Brian Flores is wanting to take a stand against all the discrimination going to Reds. A lot of black employees, whether they're coaches or maybe people in upper management, all the way down to players, similar to what Colin Kaepernick has been doing all those years ago when he decided to take the knee. We got one more article to go over regarding this case from the New York Post. The headline is, Brian Flores, I was humiliated walking into sham Giants interview. It's hilarious in the story how this even came about is because Bill Belichick, the Patriots coach, accidentally texted Brian Flores saying he got the job with the Giants. You got Bill saying, sorry, I fucked this up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they're naming the bull. Sorry about that, Bill Belichick. My take on all this is that, man, it's 2022 and this is what we're dealing with. Black History Month, this is what we're dealing with. Come on, man. What the fuck? Now, we have a big, powerful corporation like the NFL who for years and years and years on end have been able to do what they want whenever they wanted to. They excommunicated Colin Kaepernick when he decided to take the knee. They blackballed him. No team wanted to sign him after that. And now I fear the same thing for Brian Flores here. And to make things even more depressing in this video, we're going to talk about bomb threats at HBCU schools. We have this one news article, the New York Times, saying historically black colleges disrupted by bomb threat. At least 17 historically black colleges and universities said that they received bomb threats in the past 2 days, though no explosives have been found. A series of unconfirmed bomb threats disrupted life from more than a dozen college campuses this week, drawing the attention of the White House and the FBI. Of particular concern were the threats directed at historically black colleges and universities, including at least 17 that were temporarily canceled in-person classes and lockdown buildings. Now we see President Biden was aware of the threats per this article, and the authorities have not described any of the threats as credible, but the school officials at many of the universities took precautions such as sweeping campus buildings and moving to remote instruction. Some of the HBCUs have received several sets this year. How the fuck you gonna be threatening bombs at HBCUs? First day of Black History Month. 3 a.m. in the morning, mind you. Like, what type of racist do you have to be? You gotta wake up 3 in the morning and call a bomb threat. What the fuck? All these students are minding their business. All these professors are minding their business. And yet here you are, whoever you are. I hope they track this person out. I'm really following this story. My prayers is that the FBI is actually investigating and they're working to find out who started the bomb threat so they can get arrested and tried accordingly. The hatred is so real. And the fact that you're doing all this on Black History Month. There you have it, folks. That's your depressing news for this week. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news. If you got to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure, if you haven't, subscribe and send me a like because it really helps with this whole YouTube shit. It's been your boy Ehiazokin. More videos coming soon. I love this grind and I'm gonna keep going. I'll talk to y'all soon.
This was no damn accident. This was no accident. This was no accident.